The young are not actually watching TV in a substantially different way than they ever have done. They're just using these other technologies to supplement and augment that viewing experience. But we should never, ever forget one thing that TV has, which is an absolute USP at the moment, is the power of the shared experience. And people to actually watch together or want to watch at the same time as lots and lots of other people, so at the very least it becomes part of their social currency, that human need state is not going to change. I'm actually very, very bullish about it for the simple reason that every single piece of new technology that is supposed to have taken people away from the live broadcast stream has actually helped to increase the audience to the live broadcast stream. And just give you one example for that. The recent work we've done with the IAB, looking at the most digitally enabled 25% of the population, has shown that about 2/3 of them have accessed TV online, but the biggest single factor behind accessing TV online is so that they can keep up with the broadcast stream. I think the idea that media are dying, never to be repeated again, is misleading to say the least. And the example I always use is cinema, because I'm old enough to have seen the death of cinema 4 times, and yet it's still as strong as ever. About 3 years ago now, we were told we were about to witness the end of the 30-second spot because of things like PVRs or DTRs, things like Sky Plus and so on, were going to make people able to avoid ads to their heart's content, and of course that's what the audience would do, wouldn't they? We're now a lot wiser. DTRs actually, instead of destroying viewing to real-time TV spot advertising, actually increase it, which is again totally counterintuitive, but actually when you look at consumers and how they use this technology, it makes perfect sense. I absolutely agree that you know, the issue of accountability via online media, to an extent, has not given us the whole picture. I think we've assumed that the click is the accountability. And of course, what we're finding now through some groundbreaking studies from the likes of the IPA is that actually the click is influenced by so much of the other marketing activity, offline as well as online. And we're beginning to understand how important that activity is in terms of optimizing the click. I think the online industry, particularly in this area, needs something akin to the exposure metrics that television has basically sold itself on as a currency through the Barb ratings, in order to demonstrate the audience that was achieved, rather than simply how many clicks. Perhaps one of the best examples I've seen in terms of an advertiser certainly seeming like they get it right is Coca-Cola. And I went to Media 360 earlier this year, and Jonathan Mildenhall of Coca-Cola spoke about their whole approach to what they call transmedia storytelling. And I think instinctively what that says is the overriding narrative is the most important part of the creative, but different media vehicles have got different ways of delivering that narrative and extending it. However, 2 things about that. One is it was the narrative that overrode everything, and that created the momentum for the use of all these different formats on different platforms. And the other thing I would say is we should think about that sort of approach, not just across TV and online, across all elements of the media mix. Although it's interesting that all Coca-Cola's work in this arena so far has been through strong TV branding campaigns and then really clever use of online to amplify and extend that message and that narrative.